We are full sail in the OBZ, ladies and gentlemen. We got a great upload ahead of you guys, but I just wanted to let you know that we have already passed the middle of Dream Diesel giveaway number 32. So if you want to get entered for a chance to win my Denali and $30,000 in cash, check out Enthusiast in the link in the description below. Let's get into today's video because it is glorious, my friends. It was October of 2022 that I officially dropped the OBS off here at this very parcel of land in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania, to kick off the official objective to, quote, finish the OBS. And it was March 22nd of 2022 that I found the truck for sale in a private collection in South Carolina. And today it is June 8th of 2023. We are actually almost exactly at a year and 3 months. And today, ladies and gentlemen, it's such a big day. Such a huge day for all of us here on the vlog together as we're in this as one unit to experience what I think is going to be such a memorable moment together. And that is the first, I'm going to call this the first official drive. We're gonna discount some of that other first drive nonsense. I'm trying to suppress those memories, but it's a big day because the OBS at Precision Vehicle Works is officially wrapped up. We are going to be at the Atlantic City Truck Meet this weekend. Timing as of filming this video in actual time, it's Thursday afternoon right now, the weekend before the June 10th kickoff for Atlantic City Truck Meet. So we're actually packing up there. We're going there tomorrow. But I finally get to drive the truck. And the goal with Zach, when I dropped it off to him, was to have it ready for this event. There's still things that need done on this truck that we're gonna get into, but that's really not what the focus of this video is. The focus of this video is honestly just enjoying all of the work, all of the time, all of the troubleshooting, all of the project management that I've really kind of adopted, all the work that Zach's put in up until this point in time, and going out and just cherishing this. Now, unfortunately, apparently the air quality is the worst that it's ever been in the history of America, and I get to spend it outside. You know what? Because I'm not passing up this moment. Cheers to that. Now, I don't think I would be as excited about this very moment if I didn't have my blueberry grape spark. And I'm just gonna be honest, 2 o'clock hits me like a freight train, and I typically have a really hard time pushing through the afternoons because I'm so gung-ho in the mornings. Not anymore. Check it out on Amazon Prime. The link is down in the description below. If you don't know what flavor to order, grab a multi-pack. And if you wanna know my favorite flavor, well, I have 4 because they're all fantastic.
Time it is now, nobody stops me taking the crown. I did a lot, they changing the style to do what I did, they making me proud. I'm young and I'm free, I got a lot to achieve. They wanna stop and leave, but people are looking at me, it couldn't be, better believe. This my moment, I said it's my moment. I came here to own it, man, it's my moment. I used to take it a day at a time. I used to wait, but I'm making it mine. Was at the bottom, but able to climb. And look how I rise up. At the top, you gon' find us looking refined, not how you defined us. Can this beat get a moment of silence? This time I'm fired up. I give it my all. I said my moment is now. No laying around. I put my stick in the ground. Just so you know, ain't no mistaking it now. Forget what you make of it. Got my eye on the prize. I'm taking it. Got the fire inside, ain't shaking it. And I'm turning the tide, ain't changing it. I'm the main event. This my moment. I said it's my moment. I came here to own it. Man, it's my moment. Man, it's my. I said it's my.
This is gonna be one of those weird YouTube videos where I'm probably going to have a hard time expressing through words how I feel, because how I feel is, it's almost just going to be something that I can't explain. It's just something that I'm going to have to feel and experience. I genuinely have that man to thank so much, Zach. Dude, before I even get into the video, I gotta give, like, I don't even know if credit is the appropriate word for a project like this, because a project like this isn't something that even a lot of seasoned shops take on, right? They kind of want to stay in their comfort realm. They want to do the work that they know how to do. But luckily, Zach is not most shops. Zach is an aspiring shop owner. Now he's got his own. And he's an enthusiast. He's passionate. And he has an unbelievable attention to detail. Now, as we go through this video, you might see some things, or you might have seen some things in the cinematic sequence that maybe didn't make much sense or don't look finished. That's because they're not finished. There's a lot of things that aren't finished. You might argue that 90% of the truck took 10% of the time, and the 10% of things remaining will take 90% of the time, okay? So just understand that. I'm not going to explain that because there are so many other things that we can get into, but that's the beauty of a project like this, which to me has been a goal for a long time. But Zach, you really did go above and beyond. The stainless steel brake line that's on the rear axle, because a black one wouldn't look right. All of the meticulous rock light wiring that zip tied every freaking 8 inches. The rock lights up under the hood that have a switch under the hood that are tied into auxiliaries, so that way when it's posted up, we can turn lights on to the Duramax motor inside the OBS, and a bunch of other things. Now, I want to do my absolute best to just kind of summarize those things once we step outside of the truck, but I'm talking little things here, such as the overdrive button is how you turn on all the rock lights on this truck. You hit this little button right here and the rock lights turn on. The front fuel and rear fuel sending unit is a broken switch. We'll get another one. The tabs in this dash panel are broken. That's what happens when these pieces become frail and brittle and fragile. But front and rear actually is indicative of 2- and 4-wheel drive, while the sending unit is still sending accurate fuel reading to the gauge cluster. The gauge cluster is almost connected. It's not there yet, but Zach figured out how to do that. To take a Duramax motor that reads at a completely different language of voltage and connect it to an OBS gauge cluster. These are the types of things that I'm saying most shops would never even entertain doing. That man back there isn't most shops, and he honestly isn't even most techs. He is on a completely different wavelength and spectrum, and I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to give him this kind of an opportunity, a truly one-of-one truck. This truck isn't really even built for anybody other than me. I used to have a landscaping business. My neighbor had a very similar truck to this, and he let me drive it quite often, although I was way under the legal age. Licensure? I spent a lot of time in my very early years, my malleable years, behind the wheel of this body style truck, and that's why this thing to me is the holy grail. And honestly, guys, at this point in my career, I don't do anything for the happiness of anybody other than those people that are aligned with the values that I have and I share in life. Why spend life trying to succumb to making people happy if you're not happy? Well, you know what makes me happy? Doing what I love. And what makes me happier is having the people that share the same values as me, the same core values as me, along for the ride. Okay, that's all that I'm saying. Now let's focus our attention on my F350 LBZ powered, fully built Allison transmission equipped. I don't even know where to start. But in summary, you guys have been following along. If you haven't, check out some of the other videos on the channel. I have to thank everybody that has contributed to this crazy idea of mine up until this point in time, because without those people, none of this would be possible. I don't have the time to build a truck like this myself, and it's not even the time really, it's the knowledge. I just don't have it. I'm a YouTube certified mechanic through and through. I have a lot of common sense. I teach myself a ton of things, but I would have never been able to do this because of 2 factors, time and skill. So everyone that contributed up until this point in time, I thank you so much. We've got Hicksville Duramax supplying the powertrain. We've got Worley Custom Fab that has their 750 horsepower plus fully built Allison transmission up underneath this truck. Now, speaking of, we are going to be at the Whirly Custom Fab booth at the Atlantic City Truck Show here this weekend. So if I see you guys out there, I'm excited for you to see this wild creation of mine, this truly one-of-a-kind truck. I have to thank the guys over at CJC Off-Road for getting me equipped with all the Carly stuff that I love through and through. The guys at Synergy Manufacturing for getting me my fully adjustable drag link that's on this truck. Without that, none of that beautiful powder coat done by Left Lane Coatings would have been possible or complete on the front end. I've got to thank some of my subscribers helping me seek out or providing me parts along the way. We had so many things, and I'm so sorry I can't mention all of your names right now, but you guys are a part of this thing, and I'm giving you all the credit in the world. Flight Fab, Miles, my main man from Ohio. These are custom Flight Fab brackets on this truck. Now, he does sell the billet for link, of course. That is available. Obviously, this one's been retrofitted to the 9s because it has a Super Duty front axle, a Super Duty rear axle, the whole 9 yards. And it's kind of funny, actually, in the process of customizing a 6-7 bracket to the chassis of an OBZ, which is different. In all the measurements that we took to make this bracket align up here, and this is, I actually kind of love it. We forgot to adjust the Flight Fab. So the bracket is actually completely flat on the truck, but it doesn't look like it from the outside. It looks like it's here a little cockeyed, like angled down like this. Well, that's just one of the little Easter eggs of the OBZ because of how custom it is. I'm probably missing more people along the way, and I'm really sorry about that. If you're watching this video, you know I love you. You know I'm all about relationships in life. But man, oh man, this is just such a miracle moment. It has been a year and 3 months since we delivered this thing at the 60 by 80 pole building up at my house, and we had this dream, I had this reality, and here we are. I want to also give a big shout out to my boy TJ for freshening up the specialty forged wheels. I've had these things for a very long time, since Dream Diesel giveaway number 14. They just survived, like it's crazy. All the wheels that come in end up going out to one of the giveaway trucks, which is totally cool. That's what it's intended for, but I'm happy to see that this thing ended up on some specialty forged, although they got pretty wrecked and demolished over the years. So TJ, I'm gonna link his Instagram. He does an amazing job polishing. If you guys have any polishing needs here in the Lancaster County, Lebanon County, South Central Pennsylvania area. We got our fully polished drive shaft, custom cut aluminum drive shaft up underneath, and then of course our fully polished exhaust coming off of the LBZ. Oh my God, guys, I can't even, I'm sure I forgot some people along the way, by the way, and I'm really sorry about that. You guys just understand that I'm slightly just overwhelmed in all of my senses right now because I'm gonna go drive this thing on the road for the very first time. I guess I didn't technically share the first drive with you guys since it's been done because I drove it from that bay over there to right here, but we're not gonna make that count. We get up under the engine bay now. So much of Zach's time, focus, and attention were focused right in here. I mean, really the whole engine bay. Left Lane Coatings, my powder coat business, powder coated the intercooler piping, which is very much custom right now between both 7.3 intercooler piping and Duramax intercooler piping all throughout because we needed to make it all marry up. We left, of course, for our farmers, man. I love my farmers. You guys feed America. We had to leave the Busch Light can, although this thing really doesn't even serve a purpose now because we have the appropriate means of holding our coolant and, of course, our overflow, expansion, etc. But Zach cleaned up this whole area. We actually relocated the battery box to underneath the truck, which you guys probably saw in some of those earlier shots. So it opened all of this up. He cut so many wires to trim everything custom to length, secured all the wires so that way it's at factory spec, cleaned everything up. It's all mounted extremely well, and he even went as far as putting some enthusiast rock lights up underneath with a switch right here. That way I can hit the button and turn them on based on auxiliaries, so at night or at shows or whatever the case is. Probably at Atlantic City, we're gonna use it quite often. We can pop the hood and showcase what makes this truck extra, extra, extra special. We're still in the process of working out this stuff over here, which is going to get the truck fully functional air conditioning and heat. We actually have to add in a vacuum pump to accomplish that. There's a lot of things on here that we still want to do, but a majority of it is effectively done. All the brake lines and all the brake line spacers are intact and in place. The vacuum line, oh so strategically added into the chassis with a rubber grommet. This is the type of work that I'm talking about that this man is capable of. And honestly, I really had to kind of keep Zach to myself for a little while before he gets extremely busy. And may no longer have time for me, because a skill set like that, those things happen quite quickly. Oh my God, this is insane to me. We'll hit the rock light off button. We've of course got now dampeners on either side of the hood, so the hood stays up, which is fantastic. Hydro booster, over hydro brakes, over hydro steering, over a blue top steering box. I mean, everything has effectively been touched. Zach even went ahead and got me some new mounting brackets for the headlights, because those had gotten messed up in the process. Again, very, 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 very fragile brackets that unfortunately break. But here we are, about to jump in this truck and go for a drive that I am actually still nervous about, because it's not like this is a little deal. Might not also happen to have something to do with the fact that, I mean, we lost control of the truck. Admittedly, not my brightest moment, but we live and we learn, and I shared that because I wanted you guys to never make the same mistake in your life. So here we go for, actually, you know what, before we get there, and I'm getting a phone call. Have you been staying busy? You doing a lot of closings? Let's get going, my friends. This is crazy. Who even thought it would have been possible? I didn't think it would be possible. I honestly thought I was crazy for taking on something like this, because whatever, here we go. All right, turn signals, work. I'm struck right now, guys. I am not fighting this wheel like whatsoever. Solid axle trucks, I mean, you know the deal. They don't drive like independent front suspension trucks, but use my hand as a reference point. How much I'm not trying to drive this truck right now. I didn't expect it to be this good at all, because we've got so many foreign components. Now, mind you, they're good foreign components, but there's a lot of different brands that are contributing to the setup on this thing. Synergy Manufacturing, Draglink, we've got Carly CJC Off-Road, we've got Carly Coil Springs, Carly Track Bar. I can't remember for the life of me the name of the brand of the tie rod that's on this thing, but it's an adjustable Heim end track bar. We've got Flight Fab components that are holding those axles in place. We've got Fox shocks that are intended to go on a 2017 plus Illumiduty, which is why the reservoirs don't actually face the same way. They weren't even intended to go on the year axles that are on this truck, right? But we made them fit, we retrofitted them on. And, it's quite good. Like, I'm just soaking it in. That's what I'm doing. I told you guys I'm gonna be at a loss of words in this video. I have talked about this for so long, and the fact that we're here right now driving with a, I'm gonna say, a very high degree of confidence is just, it's kind of surreal, not gonna lie. A lot of time, a lot of resources have gone into this thing to get it to where it is today, and I have to sit here and say without a question of a doubt, I am beyond happy, beyond happy. And shockingly, I think, you know, outside from the fact that we're looking over a Ford dashboard and a Ford hood and Ford, you know, ventilation triangular mirrors, we're hearing a Duramax. The power of a Duramax is at the power of my right foot. We've got modern Super Duty braking abilities, all new brakes, everything. It's shocking to me how good this thing drives. Like, I'm shocked, like, for having all of this suspension, completely redone. All of the axles totally torn down and rebuilt. I mean, literally everything. It is amazing. And the craziest part about it all is the mere fact and the sheer fact that we don't even have a sway bar on this truck yet, right? So that's only going to do nothing but aid and improve the overall kind of swayiness that comes along with the truck like this. And these chassis are actually open C-channel, not closed channel rectangular tube, and it feels fantastic. All right, we could twist, we could stir, we could obsess over this thing all day, but time is money, ladies and gentlemen, and there's just not enough time in the day. So we are actually going to get the OBS loaded up on the good old gooseneck that's attached to that white single cab right there in prep for Atlantic City, which I am leaving for tomorrow with Brody. We're gonna get there first thing Friday morning. We're gonna get the truck unloaded and put it into the Whirly Custom Fab booth, and then we're gonna take it from there. I'll be filming a YouTube video of the whole event. I've actually never gone to any truck events ever. Like, they have UCC and, you know, what's the one down in, there's one down in Texas. I don't even know. I don't stay up to date with it. Truthfully, guys, I'm all about this passion pursuit, and with that comes my weekends. And being that I get to play for work, I typically don't spend my weekends away from my family, because at the end of the day, I do this all so that way I can get some more time with the ones that I love most versus traveling to truck events. That's just truthfully why I've never gone to any event, but now I am losing my virginity to that. We're gonna be at Atlantic City. Mark that puts it on is a very nice guy. I have to give it to him. I wanted to make it to Atlantic City last year, but it actually also happens to come at a time. You know what, honestly, let me just shut up. Let me stop talking. Let me stop blabbling. I'm looking forward to it. They're excited about having the truck out there. I'm super stoked we got to this point. Let's get this thing loaded up here. Well, boys, she's loaded up. She looks absolutely fantastic. She looks good on the trailer, but it looks even better on the ground. I think we're gonna be the first to admit that. It was a little bit of a process to strap it all up. I had purchased some extra long loops in hopes that I could get enough leverage and distance away from the powder coat. I had actually positioned the straps on 3 points on the axle here, decided not to go around the axle, and actually wrapped around the traction bar, which is like most minimal contact around the finish on the rear. Plus I figured inevitably there might be a little surface scratching, etc. These are clear coated, which is amazing because I'm never gonna have to polish them, because that would suck to have to polish in these areas. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with where I got it strapped in the back. We went bilateral or cross X in the back. This mega ramp setup is amazing, but these things clunk around a lot. Luckily, Enthusiast makes some super freaking awesome tie downs, and I specifically made them green because they stand out. I just want to always remember them. That's good, ready to rock and roll. Up front, we almost had ourselves a free rider. Same thing. I think I'm actually gonna get some microfibers though and tuck them here along this lower tie rod, because this distance isn't gonna work to tie it down. Get a little bit of protection there, but we should be good to go for the short distance back to my shop. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the rig has somewhat returned. It just always seems to be in an evolving fashion. It always seems to be a different truck. It always seems to be a different trailer. It always seems to be a whole bunch of different stuff. It is great to have this truck just physically back here at the house, where it originated, where this whole idea was conceived and conceptualized. But the day's getting late, and I need to get to a lot of stuff that I haven't gotten to that requires me going inside those double doors and just knocking it out and getting it done. So that's where we're gonna wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all tagging along with today's video. I'm sorry if this wasn't 100% exactly me. Usually I follow this kind of standard progression of a vlog. It's just today, I was somewhat in awe. This is a feeling that I could probably best describe as what the winners feel of the Dream Diesel giveaways. It just doesn't seem like we've gotten to this point, if that makes sense. But speaking of Dream Diesel giveaways, you have a chance to win my Denali and 30 grand cash. And if you want to feel this exact feeling that I'm feeling at this very moment in time, grab your entries, because the giveaway is legitimately halfway over already. Time is flying when we're having fun.